Hi, and welcome. You're listening to the X22 Report. My name is Dave, and this is episode 2143B, and today's date is April 8th, 2020, and the title of the episode is, Soon the World Will Understand, the Truth Will Shock the World. Now let's talk about protecting yourself. With everyone now working from home, VPN security is now required. Security warnings were published by the Department of Homeland Security, Cybersecurity, and Infrastructure Security Agency. If you don't have a VPN, now is the time to get one. Virtual Shield has the easiest and fastest VPN on the market and offers free 30-day trial due to the recent pandemic, COVID-19. Virtual Shield wants to extend a customer appreciation month to everyone and offer a 50% off all VPN plans and all premium add-ons. Sign up for free for 30-day trial to Virtual Shield VPN and see what the hype is all about. You have nothing to lose. Let's get into the economic collapse, political and geopolitical news. Now, what we are witnessing right now is the deep state plan failing. They are struggling right now. They are fighting for their lives. And as each day passes, it's getting harder and harder to keep the event moving forward. They hit a roadblock. Trump, the patriots, they have them. The numbers aren't making sense. The pictures of hospitals not making sense. Information coming out that anyone that dies has COVID-19. All this is coming out now. Their entire plan to crash the economy, to weaken Trump, to manipulate the election, to bring in the deep state and the New World Order, it is all about to fail. And we're going to be talking about that in just a moment. But first, it looks like Bernie Sanders is out of the race. This is what the Associated Press tweeted out. Breaking, Bernie Sanders ends his presidential campaign after disappointing primary results, leaving Joe Biden as the likely Democrat nominee. Look at the key word there, likely. Remember, we've been talking about Joe Biden. Is he acting, or does he really have dementia? Because they're going to use this to do the old flipperoo. They're going to bring others in. Trump tweeted this out. Bernie Sanders is out. Thank you to Elizabeth Warren. If not for her, Bernie would have won almost every state on Super Tuesday. This ended just like the Democrats and the DNC wanted. Same as the crooked Hillary fiasco. The Bernie people should come to the Republican Party. Trade. Then he said, wow, Bernie is unwilling to give up his delegates and wants more of them. What's that all about? Now that's very interesting. It'd be funny if Bernie Sanders gave the delegates to Trump. That'd be very interesting. We'll be talking more about Biden and the elections a little bit later because Q has been posting like crazy today. But Trump, he is continually draining the swamp. Susan Crabtree tweeted this out. Breaking. Trump is firing 7 IGs in one foul swoop. Sources confirmed to Real Clear News most likely will be the IGs that were appointed by President Obama or beforehand. He wants his own people in those positions now. Trump, during his briefing, said he has put in 7 names for IGs. Yes, Trump is going to continually drain the swamp. He has the individuals in place that are removing all these people. The blocks are now gone, and they're draining the rest of the swamp. Now, what's very interesting, the IMF would like to bail out Iran, and the United States is blocking the bailout from the International Monetary Fund. They want to give them $5 billion in emergency funding to help fight the coronavirus. Now, we all know where that money goes. It's not to help the coronavirus problem. It's going to go into other people's pockets. And the Trump administration maintains that Tehran has access to a considerable stockpile of billion-dollar accounts that it should use to fight the virus outbreak. U.S. officials predict that if the aid request was approved, Tehran would use the additional funding to offset the damage being done to their economy by U.S. sanctions or to finance militant attacks in the Middle East. And we know that a lot of money was given to Iran, part of the deal that Obama, Kerry made, and we know that this money is then laundered to other individuals. Now, we know that this whole event was started, and then the panic, the chaos, the fear was pushed to the nth degree. And what we're seeing right now is this event, it is struggling. All of a sudden, we're starting to see all these people who predicted millions of people dying, backtracking on all of this. And they're saying, okay, it's not going to be millions. It's not going to be hundreds of thousands. Maybe it'll be 60,000, maybe even less. Actually, it'll probably be a lot less than that. They revised their numbers down around 90% already. What does this tell you? It tells you that everything they tried to do didn't work, and they couldn't get anything off the ground. And Trump and the Patriots, they used this time to do what they do best because they knew the playbook. Trump tweeted this out, flattening of the curve. That's exactly what we see happening. And the news is starting to come out about all these individuals. Paul Sperry tweeted this out. Breaking news. FEC records show the wife of NIH Dr. Anthony Fauci, who clashed with Trump over COVID-19 strategy, is a Democrat who donated at least $1,200 to Hillary for America and Hillary Victory Fund in 2016 campaign versus Trump. Dr. Fauci wrote 2013 email praising Hillary. We know that Trump kept Fauci out there. He knew that he was a deep state operative, part of the swamp, plus the others. This was all for optics, and he used them. Now, what's very interesting, and we've talked about this before, the mainstream media, corrupt politicians, and everyone else, they don't want to talk about hydroxychloroquine. For some reason, they don't want anyone to know about this drug. Very interesting. Even Paul Krugman. He's a New York Times columnist, and he said the following. Relevant to note that there is a long, close association between right-wing activists and medical quackery. So they're all hitting hydroxychloroquine, and they're saying Trump is not a doctor, we should listen to Dr. Fauci. Trump already said he's not a doctor, but he's talking to other people, and he hears great things about it. Now, very interestingly, Boris Johnson, he is getting a little bit better. His temperature has come down. He says he feels better. And we know that Trump was sending some drugs over to him. But what's very interesting is that in the UK, for some reason, their plan, he can't get hydroxychloroquine. So we'll have to see what happens. Now, I don't know if he's treated with it as of yet, but he is getting a little bit better. We'll have to wait to see if there's an announcement about how Boris Johnson is getting better, what he's been taking, what he's been doing. And we might be surprised that he has received hydroxychloroquine. Now, we know that India produces a lot of hydroxychloroquine. And the mainstream media was out there saying that, oh no, India is going to keep it for themselves. They're not going to allow the United States to get any. Yesterday, we showed that, yes, India is definitely going to do this. Remember, Trump has already made deals with India, and we need to continually watch India because I believe this is the next place where a lot of manufacturing coming out of China is going to go. And Trump tweeted this out. Extraordinary times require even closer cooperation between friends. Thank you, India and the Indian people, for the decision on HCQ. Will not be forgotten. Thank you, Prime Minister Narendra Modi, for your strong leadership in helping not just India, but humanity in this fight. So we'll have to keep an eye on India because I think it's going to be very, very important. And I do believe that everything that's going to be moving out of China because the supply chains and everything else, it's going to be moving into India, back to the U.S., maybe to Mexico, and other places. Now, I want to go through April 8th, 2018 posts because I do believe it's telling a story of what is happening right now. And then we'll get into Q's new posts, and we'll start to put a lot of this stuff together. Now, this is post 1077. This says, and this is April 8th, 2018, night with brackets for increase in chatter, authentication B19.2, Sparrow Red, prevent at all costs, good Castle Online. Post 1078, prevent, authorization first S, Castle Green, with a hash, contact window OK. Post 1079, tracking good, relay back channel SWH, could be White House, EP1, fly high. Does this mean Air Force One is taking off? Maybe, maybe not. Post 1082, POTUS and JFK Jr., relationship, plane crash 1999, Hillary Clinton Senate 2000, the start, enjoy the show. Post 1083, SIG intercept, old to new, as the world turns. Post 1084, POTUS hunkering down, situation room. So there's a lot going on right there. And we're going to come back to some of Q's posts that are back in 2018, because Q just posted new posts, which brings us back to those posts. But first, this is what Trump tweeted out. The radical left Democrats have gone absolutely crazy that I am doing daily presidential news conferences. They actually want me to stop. They used to complain that I'm not doing enough of them. Now they complain I shouldn't be allowed to do them. They tried to shame the fake news media into covering them. But that effort failed because the ratings are through the roof according to all sources. The failing New York Times, Monday Night Football, Bachelor Finale, type numbers. And sadly, they get it free. Trump derangement syndrome. Now, remember, they wrote a letter to the FCC. They wanted the FCC to say, hey, ban Trump. The FCC said, no, we're not going to do that. He has the right to talk freely. And the mainstream media outlets, they can decide on what they want to do. Now, once again, Q has warned us about this, that we might see them stop broadcasting, which means Trump would have to use the emergency broadcast system or the emergency alert system. Is Trump trying to tell us right now that is on the way? Maybe. Now, Trump tweeted out today, but then he deleted it. And in this tweet, he had the word country, but he misspelt it, and it was COUNYRY. So it seems that Trump is pointing out the why. And this brings us back to Comey's tweet, because Comey put a Y in kill brackets. It says, you can't promote principled anti-corruption action without pissing off corrupt people. George P. Kent, Deputy Assistant Secretary of State, November 14, 2019. And that brings me back to post 3599. The harvest, and crop is in brackets and bold, has been prepared and soon will be delivered to the public for consumption. A higher loyalty, with a Y in kill brackets. Hunters become the hunted. Treason, sedition. How do you remove a liability? 6 o'clock can be dangerous. Family proud. Now, what's very interesting is Trump every day is doing his pressers around 6 o'clock. That's when he is doing it. Is that what he's talking about? Maybe. We have Sung Kyu Soo, who tweeted this out. One more interesting correlation with QAnon post 4/28/18. Look at the timestamp of at POTUS tweet boom 1052. Now look at the timestamp at 4/28/2018 post 1294 that says boom 1052. Now that's interesting. So if we go to post 1294, what does it say? Godspeed, patriots. Stay strong. Stay united. Boom week ahead. So does that mean something is about to happen? We know things are happening. We know there's a mission going on right now. The Enhanced Narcotics Mission. We'll be talking about that a little bit later too. Now let's get into Q's posts here, which leads us back to posts that were posted back 2 years ago. Now this is post 3909, and it says, read in order. By the way, this is April 8th, 2020. This is a Breitbart.com article. It says, GOP gears up for the next relief fight. Democrats want the federal government to take over elections. Now, it seems, as we know, we've been talking about this, they want to do vote by mail. They want to change everything. We know that Soros is behind the drop boxes. He's behind a lot of this, which we'll be getting into in just a moment. Then we have Fox News, and it says coronavirus and elections, Dems doing this to gain political edge. Democrats are attempting to use the devastation caused by the COVID-19 pandemic to take over elections again and to do so permanently. So they want to have this done, and they want it this way for now on, where you just mail in your vote. You don't have to go to the voting polls at all. Then we have number 3, which is a tweet by Trump, and he said Republicans should fight very hard when it comes to statewide mail-in voting. Democrats are clamoring for it. Tremendous potential for voter fraud, and for whatever reason, doesn't work out well for Republicans. Now remember, Q has posted before about voter ID, how they've been tracking the votes, showing voter fraud, and they have all this data. So I do believe they're going to use this and present this during this fight. And why don't they want people to go to the voting polls? Because they know they're going to lose. Trump, the patriots, they've blocked every entrance and exit. They're locked out right now. And this is the only way they can win. They need to manipulate the elections. And then let me continue with the post here. Why did WHO, and that's all capitals, the World Health Organization, make several strong recommendations not to impose a travel ban? Well, we know why. They wanted this to spread. Why did Select D, and D is in brackets in bold, government ban the use of a hydroxychloroquine? Key. Now, Trump has been mentioning that hydroxychloroquine can cure a lot of things. It breaks down the virus. So if it breaks down one virus, I wonder what other viruses it will break down. The normal flu? Is this a cure for many other viruses? It's starting to look that way. Why does fake news push anti-hydroxychloroquine? Fear tactics, RE use. They don't want people to know about this. Why was impeachment pushed through H fast? Did they count on R's blocking new witnesses? Time sensitive. Why? When did Biden become the front runner? Why was this critically important? What happened directly after? Who benefits the most? Everything at stake. When everything else failed, do you attempt to cheat? Welcome to the D People's Republic of China Party, and that's in brackets. The silent war continues, brackets, with 6+ in there, close brackets. So those are kill brackets. So we know why the WHO did this, and we know that Hillary Clinton, Fauci, and the rest, they're all connected to the WHO. Trump has now stopped the funding to the WHO. They do not want HCQ because it works, and it could be a cure for many other viruses. Bernie Sanders is out. Biden is the front runner. Biden, as we know, is in trouble. He forgets, he stumbles. Is it real or an act? Doesn't really matter at this point, because they're looking to bring others in. They're going to say, hey, he can't do this, and whoever his vice president is might become president, or the vice president might stay vice president, and they might bring someone else in. Cue Michelle Obama. And if Hillary Clinton is his vice president, there's the team. This was planned from the beginning. But the question is, who planned it all out for them? I think we know the answers. We'll be talking about this in a couple of minutes. But first, the WHO director decided to hit back at Trump. And he gave a little talk. Breaking 911 put this out. And it says, after President Trump threatened to stop funding the WHO, Director General says you shouldn't politicize the virus unless you want more body bags. Please quarantine from politicizing COVID. Now, did he just make a threat? It's starting to feel that way. So let's go back to the 6+ in kill brackets. Well, Q mentioned this before, and this goes back to post 133. This is November 2017. It says, hard to swallow, important to progress. Who are the puppet masters? The invisible enemy. House of Saud, 6+++, 4 trillion+. Rothschild, 6++, 2 trillion plus. Soros, 6 plus. 1 trillion plus. So right there, it looks like Q is talking about Soros. Now, is Q saying that Soros is going to be the first indictment because the first indictment is going to send shockwaves across the world? It could be. Then Trump tweeted this out, and we mentioned this just before. This is extraordinary times require even closer cooperation between friends. He's talking about India providing the HCQ, but I want to go to the extraordinary times because that reminded me of post 134, and it fits right in. It says, why were the events in Saudi Arabia extraordinary? Who was arrested? What will bank records provide? List names, family history, investment, ownership stakes, point-to-point contacts. Alawid Huma, Barack Obama, Citigroup, U.S. control. Why is this relevant? House of Saud, U.S. control. Follow the money. What power shift recently occurred? Was a new king appointed? Coincidence? This is why Brennan was trying to set up Trump with Khashoggi and trying to remove what was just done. Dark to light. Why is this relevant? One side of the triangle removed. First time in history. Other sides falling. Now that's the pyramid. And below this it says plus, plus, plus. Then under it, it says plus, plus. Then plus Q. That brings us back to post 1007. Now, this is April 3rd, 2018. Remember, I do believe there's a mission going on right now. And it's funny because we thought there was a power structure removal, and then all of a sudden Trump mentioned that they're sending the fleet out. And we have military personnel in New York, New Jersey, also Manhattan is an island, Long Island. And then here we are at 1007. This is a post from April 3rd, 2018. Bunker Forest Blue. Remember the White House was blue? There were 5 columns. This was coming from Melania. And it's the 5th column where they infiltrate from within. But under this, it's plus, 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 and then 3 pluses. April showers. But does not show them on top of each other. It's like they brought them down. These individuals. So did Trump and the Patriots, during all of this, remove that power structure? I do believe so. Then we move to post 3910. And Q gives us part of an article and says, John, and this is John Durham, John is a dedicated prosecutor who sees things in absolute terms, said H. James Pickerstein, a former chief assistant U.S. attorney who hired Durham in the Connecticut office in the 80s. Pickerstein said Durham relied on a good versus evil vision of the world while overseeing the probe of former Governor John G. Rowland. So, in this article from National Review, it says that Durham, he can keep a secret, and he's very meticulous, and he likes to have all the information. And it seems like John Durham was the right guy. And it seems like John Durham is going to be going after all these individuals. And then we move to post 3911. It says, have you ever witnessed the media, Hollywood, D party, full? Now, D as in party, the D is in bold and in kill brackets. And then after party, it says full, and that's in kill brackets. And then we have capital F in brackets, F leaders. So I think it's foreign leaders. Then we have F media, foreign media, etc. Push so much hatred towards a sitting U.S. president. Why are division tactics necessary? Coordinated. Define propaganda. Infiltration instead of invasion. They will stop at nothing to regain their power. Post 3912 says, read and discern for yourself. Post 3913, Q gives us a Twitter link. Now, this is from a Minnesota senator and doctor. Dr. Scott Jensen said that he received a 7-page doc from Minnesota Health to fill out death certificates with a diagnosis of COVID-19, whether the person actually died from COVID-19 or not. Why is Minnesota inflating COVID-19 death numbers? Take a listen.
So with that being said, why would they want to skew the number of deaths due to COVID-19?
Well, fear is a great way to control people, and I worry about that. I worry that.
So if you listen to what he said, it's to control and to push fear. That's what all of this is about. Under this, it says, what is the primary benefit to keep public in mass hysteria? COVID-19. What is the primary benefit? Well, it's voting. That's what they're trying to do right now. But there are other things that are involved in this. Think about vaccines. Think about everything else that they're trying to push, where you're watching certain governors arrest people for being outside, where they're locking down their states, where they would like to call in the UN to control the situation, where they would like to remove the people's rights. I mean, that's the ultimate plan. It says, are you awake yet? Now, very interestingly, Dr. Birx confirms anyone who dies with coronavirus, regardless of any underlying health condition, is being counted as a COVID-19 death. So she's even saying that, oh yeah, we're going to add all these numbers in. People have been visiting, and I have this on my Twitter feed, a woman went in, said, I don't feel well, and they just put her down as COVID-19 without a test. Now, what's very interesting about this, and this is coming from the Gateway Pundit, the U.S. death numbers in March of 2020 are actually down 15% from average of prior 4 years. So what's going on? So, according to Grassfire reports, according to data obtained from the CDC's National Center for Health Certificates Mortality Surveillance System website, total U.S. deaths for the first 3 weeks of March are down 10% from the average of the prior 4 years for the same 3-week period. The average 4 weeks, 9 through 11, for the 4 prior years was a total of 170,555 deaths. For weeks 9 through 11 this year, the total is 153,015, meaning 17,540 fewer people died in America during the first 3 weeks of March than could be reasonably expected. And the gap between historic deaths and weekly deaths is widening. For week 11, just 47,655 Americans died, 8,773, and 15% fewer than the average for week 11 in the prior 4 years. And while that data on week 12 is not complete, it is trending similar to week 11. And most likely it's going to be down about 15%. So, wait a minute, we're in this global pandemic and the death toll numbers are going down? Does that make any sense? Look at the citizen journalists that are filming hospitals and they can't find the war zone. What's going on here? Their plan was to cause panic, fear, chaos, crash the economy to weaken Trump, manipulate the elections, bring in vaccines, remove the people's rights. And very interestingly, Q tweeted out this reporter with Dr. Jensen, and they talked about how they're manipulating the death certificates. And Enoch noticed that Q linked to this gentleman's Twitter today. And this individual is talking about Donald Trump's initials, which stand for 4, 10, and 20, which is Good Friday this year, which brings me back to post 35. And this is what it says in November 2017. POTUS will be well insulated, protected on Air Force One and abroad, specific locations classified, while these operations are conducted due to the nature of the entrenchment. It is time to take back our country and make America great again. Let us salute and pray for the brave men and women in uniform who will undertake this assignment to bring forth peace, unity, and return to power to the people. It is our hope that this message reaches enough people to make a meaningful impact. We cannot yet telegraph this message through normal methods for reasons I'm sure everyone here can understand. Follow the questions from the previous thread and remain calm. The primary targets are within D.C. and remain at the top on both sides. The spillover in the streets will be quickly shut down. Look for more false flags, stay alert, be vigilant, and above all, please pray. For God so loved the world that he gave his one and only Son, that whoever believes in him shall not perish, but have eternal life. Love is patient, love is kind. God bless my fellow Americans. 4,10,20. And then Q put this up. This is post 3914. This is April 8th, 2020. The armor of God. We've seen this before. And underneath that, it says, the world will soon understand. Let me move on to post 3915. This is a Twitter link to M2 Madness. Now, in this link, M2 Madness says, whoa, look what I found here. On January 15th, the patient who becomes the first confirmed U.S. case leaves Wuhan and arrives in the U.S. carrying coronavirus. Articles of impeachment are delivered to the Senate, triggering historical trial of President Trump. When? On January 15th, the same exact day. Coincidence? I think not. Let me continue with this post. Why was it fast-tracked in the House? Why did Pelosi hold until January 15th? You think this was all planned? They were setting it up perfectly? What was the release marker? Public time to negate Senate witness process. What if impeachment was meant to fail? What if impeachment was meant to distract from overseas developments? What did all U.S. media focus on during impeachment process? How do you terminate POTUS rallies? How do you terminate POTUS economy gains? How do you terminate POTUS unemployment gains? How do you terminate POTUS-China trade negotiations? How do you terminate Biden debates? How do you terminate Biden public appearances? And by the way, Biden is in bold caps, all brackets. How do you terminate Biden live interviews? How do you terminate H. Biden Ukraine-China mainstream media coverage? How do you change the narrative? Who benefits the most? The World Health Organization, the D's, the mainstream media, Biden, the deep state. How do you alter POTUS Biden presidential debate structure? How do you hold hostage public aid in exchange for national bailout harvesting law adopt? How do you appease radical left knowing Sanders dropout coming? Hold hostage public aid in exchange for Green New Deal. Isn't that what they've been pushing? The truth will shock the world. Regain power by any means necessary. Unbelievable. And then we move to post 3916, April 8, 2020. It says the plan. This is Henry Kissinger. Today, Americans would be outraged if UN troops entered Los Angeles to restore order. Tomorrow, they will be grateful. This is especially true if they were told there was an outside threat from beyond, whether real or promulgated, that threatened our very existence. It is then that all people of the world will pledge with world leaders to deliver them from this evil. The one thing every man fears is the unknown. When presented with this scenario, individual rights will be willingly relinquished for the guarantee of their well-being granted to them by their world government. Henry Kissinger, in an address to the Bilderberg meeting and in France on May 21st, 1992. This has been their plan all along, and we're watching it play out. But Trump and the Patriots, they knew this plan. They knew the playbook. They knew this is exactly what they were doing. Trump, the Patriots, what are they doing right now? They are removing the power structure. They are exposing the plan to the world. People are watching this. And what's very interesting is that Q continually says, sheep no more. Think about what has been happening. We are no longer traveling in herds. We've been separated. We are now individuals. We're no longer sheep. We're relaxed. The noise has been removed. People can see clearly now. People are watching. And remember, we have these missions going on right now. And the U.S. Southern Command tweeted this out. A look at the Columbia-led multinational naval operation Orion 5, which is targeting illicit traffickers with the help of 24 nations. Now think about this. They said illicit traffickers. It could be drugs. It could be human trafficking. It could be both. That's why they said illicit traffickers. Trump, the patriots, they're going to bring the whole thing down. Listen, everyone, thanks a lot for listening. Be well, be safe, and especially be prepared. Thanks a lot.